What if the secret to a vibrant life after 60 isn't about chasing youth, but about mastering wisdom?
Her name is Jennifer. For 40 years, she taught second graders how to turn letters into stories and numbers into cents. Her mind was a finely tuned instrument, and her hands brought beauty to the world. Her garden in a quiet corner of Ohio was her sanctuary, a living tapestry of color and scent. But lately, a quiet thief had been visiting Jennifer's garden. It wasn't a pest or a blight on the leaves. It was a stiffness in her fingers, a dull ache in her knees that made kneeling feel like a negotiation with gravity. It was a fog that would roll into her mind without warning, making her forget whether she'd fed the azaleas or just thought about it. The doctor had given it names: a touch of arthritis, creeping blood sugar, cholesterol that was a little high for your age. But to Jennifer, it had only one name: loss. The daily erosions were the hardest part. One afternoon, her 7-year-old granddaughter, Lily, ran to her with a book, her eyes wide with excitement. "Grandma, read the dragon part again." Jennifer smiled and opened the book, but the words swam together. The thread of the story, once so clear, felt tangled and distant. She stumbled over a name, her voice faltering. Lily's bright face clouded with a flicker of confusion. The moment passed, but the sting of it lingered, a tiny splinter in Jennifer's heart. Another day, she stood in her kitchen, ready to bake the lemon meringue pie her husband had always loved, a recipe she knew by heart. But the steps were gone, vanished into the fog. She stared at the flour and sugar, a wave of frustration washing over her, so sharp it felt like grief. She quietly put everything away, the silence in the kitchen feeling heavier than ever. In the quiet of that evening, a thought, clear and cold, surfaced from the fog. She looked at her hands, the hands that had graded thousands of papers, wiped away tears, and cultivated life from the soil. The thought was devastating in its simplicity. Am I disappearing? Is the rest of my life just going to be about the things I can no longer do? But then, her gaze drifted to that little painting on the wall. A simple dandelion, a weed to most, but she'd painted it because she admired its stubborn refusal to give up. It would grow through cracks in the pavement, reaching for the sun no matter the obstacle. A new thought began to form, not a shout, but a whisper of defiance. If that little thing can fight so hard for its place in the sun, why have I stopped fighting for mine? It wasn't about being 25 again. It was about being fully, vibrantly Jennifer again, at 68. The journey wasn't a miracle. It was a choice, made every single day. It started in her kitchen. She didn't throw everything out. She simply began to understand that her body at 68 was unto the same as it was at 38. It needed different fuel, better fuel. Slowly, the morning stiffness began to fade. The fog started to lift, not all at once, but like a morning mist burning off under a rising sun. One day, she finished the Sunday crossword puzzle for the first time in a year. The real victory, though, came when Lily climbed into her lap with the book about the dragon. Jennifer took a deep breath, and she read the story, every word clear, every character alive in her voice. And the joy on her granddaughter's face felt like the sun on her own.
Jennifer's story isn't about a magic pill. It's about a powerful shift in understanding. It's about realizing that the food we eat after 50 isn't just for sustenance. It's a strategic tool to reclaim our health, our clarity, and our joy. You might be thinking, I've heard it all before: eat your vegetables, avoid sugar. And you're right, the basics are important. But what if the most powerful changes lie in specific foods that most of us are overlooking? What if there are certain nutrients that act like a master key, unlocking better brain function, soothing your joints, and protecting your heart in ways you never thought possible? Over the next few minutes, we're going to uncover 10 of these nutritional powerhouses. We'll explore everything from a creamy guardian for your heart to the body's clever housekeeper, building up to what I believe is the ultimate secret to lasting energy, something that might truly surprise you. You absolutely want to stay for this final revelation, because it challenges everything we thought we knew about a healthy diet in our prime. And quickly, a very important reminder: all the information we're sharing today is for educational purposes. Everyone's health journey is unique, so please consult with your doctor or a qualified healthcare provider before making any significant changes to your diet or health regimen. Our goal is to empower you with knowledge so you can have the best possible conversations with them. All right, let's begin. Secret number 10, our foundational fruit secret. Let's start with something that feels like a treat: berries. We're often told to be wary of fruit because of the sugar, especially as our metabolism changes. This creates a conflict for those of us who love a little natural sweetness, but are also trying to manage our blood sugar. It comes from a misunderstanding of how our bodies process different foods. It's not just about the amount of sugar, it's about the entire package. To make sense of this, let's use an analogy. Think of your blood sugar like the water level in a canal. Eating pure sugar is like dumping a massive bucket of water in all at once. It causes a rapid, chaotic surge. But eating berries is like opening a small controlled gate that lets the water flow in gently and slowly. Why? Because berries are packed with fiber. This fiber is the key. Therefore, the solution is to embrace berries like blackberries, raspberries, and even blueberries as your go-to sweet treat. The fiber slows down the absorption of sugar, preventing those dramatic spikes that contribute to insulin resistance and fatigue. For instance, blackberries and raspberries have a glycemic index of only 25, which is incredibly low. Blueberries are a bit higher at 50, so they're still good, but you may want to enjoy them in slightly smaller portions. These fruits are also bursting with compounds called polyphenols and anthocyanins, which are like your body's personal anti-inflammatory and antioxidant team, working to protect your brain and improve circulation. They are, quite simply, nature's safest and smartest sweet. Secret number 9, the heart's creamy guardian. Next, let's talk about a food that was once unfairly villainized: the avocado. For decades, we were told to fear fat, which led many to avoid this wonderfully rich and satisfying fruit. The problem is, this fear-based advice lumped all fats together, ignoring the fact that some are not only good for us, but absolutely essential, especially for heart health as we age. The exploration of this reveals a critical truth. Our blood vessels, like the rest of our bodies, lose elasticity over time. Think of your arteries as new rubber bands when you're young, flexible and stretchy. As we get older, without the right support, they can become more like old brittle rubber bands, making the heart work much harder to pump blood. This is where the tension lies. We need a way to support that vascular elasticity. But the type of fat found in avocados, monounsaturated fat, is precisely what helps maintain that flexibility. It's like a conditioning treatment for your arteries. Therefore, incorporating avocados into your diet is a powerful strategy for supporting normal blood pressure and overall heart health. They are also incredibly high in potassium, which helps balance sodium levels, and are packed with fiber while being very low in net carbs. This makes them a fantastic food for stabilizing blood sugar and insulin levels, a crucial benefit for anyone over 50. They are the creamy, delicious guardian your cardiovascular system has been waiting for. Secret number 8, the body's clever housekeeper. Now for a group of vegetables that are true unsung heroes: cruciferous vegetables. This includes things like broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, and kale. The conflict for many people is that they either find them boring or aren't aware of just how powerful they really are, especially when it comes to hormonal balance and detoxification. As we age, our body's internal processes can become less efficient. Think of your liver as the main sanitation department for a bustling city, your body. It's responsible for clearing out waste, processing toxins, and breaking down old hormones so new ones can do their job effectively. But if this sanitation department gets overwhelmed or lacks the right equipment, things start to back up, leading to low-grade inflammation and hormonal imbalances that can affect everything from menopause symptoms in women to prostate health in men. This is where our clever housekeepers come in. Cruciferous vegetables contain unique compounds like sulforaphane that act like a specialized cleaning crew, giving your liver the exact tools it needs to do its job better. Therefore, regularly eating these vegetables helps your liver efficiently metabolize estrogen and other hormones, keeping your system in balance. On top of that, they are packed with antioxidants that help control the oxidative stress that drives premature aging. Sautéing some kale with garlic or roasting Brussels sprouts with a bit of olive oil isn't just making a side dish, it's actively supporting your body's most fundamental cleanup systems. Secret number 7, the tiny powerhouses of vitality. Let's move on to nuts and seeds. We know they're healthy, but the sheer variety can be confusing, and there's a common fear that they're too high in fat or calories. The problem is that this surface-level concern makes us miss out on some of the most concentrated sources of vital minerals and healthy fats available. Let's dive deeper into this. Think of a seed or a nut as a tiny, locked treasure chest. Inside, it contains everything a plant needs to sprout and grow into a mighty tree. It's a powerhouse of concentrated energy and nutrients. But not all treasure chests are created equal, and one in particular comes with a very important warning label. I'm talking about the Brazil nut. For years, people have touted it as a great source of selenium, and it is. In fact, it's an unbelievably rich source, and this is why it's so important to understand the details. The recommended daily allowance for selenium is a tiny 55 micrograms. The toxicity level, however, is around 400 micrograms. A single Brazil nut can contain anywhere from 90 to 180 micrograms of selenium. Therefore, eating just 3 or 4 Brazil nuts could easily push you over the safe upper limit. The solution isn't to fear them, but to respect them. 1 or 2 Brazil nuts a day is more than enough to get the benefits for your thyroid and antioxidant systems without risking toxicity. For other nuts and seeds like walnuts, almonds, chia, and flax, they provide a fantastic source of healthy fats, fiber, protein, and minerals like magnesium and zinc that are crucial for our health as we mature. Secret number 6, the blood flow booster. All right, here's one I know you'll be happy to hear about: dark chocolate. The conflict is obvious. Chocolate is candy, a guilty pleasure, something we should avoid, right? That's the story we've been told our whole lives. It comes from lumping all chocolate into the same category. Your average milk chocolate bar is indeed loaded with sugar, and not much else. It's the health equivalent of a speedboat that makes a lot of noise but goes nowhere useful. But high-quality dark chocolate, we're talking 70% cacao or higher, is a completely different vehicle. Imagine it as a silent, efficient submarine navigating your bloodstream to deliver powerful benefits. The key ingredient is a class of antioxidants called flavonols. These flavonols work wonders on the lining of our arteries, known as the endothelium. They help it release a molecule called nitric oxide. Therefore, this helps our blood vessels relax and widen, which can improve blood flow throughout the body, including to the brain. Better blood flow to the brain means better cognitive function, and who doesn't want that? The key is choosing wisely. An 85% cacao chocolate has only about 4 grams of added sugar per ounce, making it a perfectly safe and beneficial treat. It allows you to support your vascular system and cognitive health, all while satisfying that craving for something rich and delicious. Secret number 5, the gut's best friend. Let's turn our attention to our gut, and one of the most powerful ways to support it: fermented vegetables. For many in the United States, foods like sauerkraut and kimchi are an acquired taste, and the idea of eating fermented foods can seem a bit strange. This is the central conflict, a cultural unfamiliarity with one of nature's most potent health strategies. As we age, the diversity of our gut microbiome, the trillions of friendly bacteria living in our digestive tract, naturally declines. Think of your gut microbiome as a lush, diverse rainforest ecosystem. When it's thriving, everything works in harmony. But factors like age, stress, and especially antibiotics can act like a fire, wiping out huge sections of that rainforest and leaving it barren. This loss of diversity is linked to poor digestion, weakened immunity, and even mood imbalances, since a huge portion of our serotonin is made in the gut. Therefore, eating fermented foods is like sending in a team of expert gardeners to reseed and restore that precious ecosystem. The live bacteria or probiotics in kimchi and sauerkraut help replenish the friendly microbes, improving your digestion, enhancing nutrient absorption, and supporting your immune system. A healthy gut also improves your body's ability to absorb crucial minerals like magnesium and zinc. You don't need to eat a huge amount. Just adding a forkful of sauerkraut to your plate a few times a week can make a profound difference. It's a simple, ancient practice that acts as your gut's very best friend. Secret number 4, the joint-soothing elixir. As we move through life, many of us become intimately familiar with stiff, achy joints. The problem is that we often accept this as an unavoidable part of aging, reaching for temporary pain relief without addressing the underlying issue. The tension lies in how we approach joint health. We tend to focus on masking the symptoms. It's like noticing a squeaky hinge on a door and just turning up the radio to drown it out, instead of grabbing the oil can. The squeak is a sign that the hinge needs lubrication and support. Similarly, joint stiffness and the discomfort of osteoarthritis are signs that our connective tissues, our cartilage, tendons, and ligaments need specific building blocks to repair and maintain themselves. But what if there was a food that provided those exact building blocks? That's where bone broth comes in. Simmering bones for a long period of time releases collagen, glycine, and proline into the broth. These are the very compounds your body uses to build and repair its own connective tissues. Therefore, incorporating bone broth into your diet is like providing the perfect spackle and lubrication for your body's scaffolding. It gives your body the raw materials it needs to support joint health, reduce inflammation, and soothe the stiffness of osteoarthritis. It also works wonders for the gut lining and skin. Sipping a warm cup of bone broth is a deeply nourishing and effective way to care for your joints from the inside out. Secret number 3. The brain's golden fuel. Next up is a food that has been at the center of dietary debates for years: the egg. The conflict has always been about cholesterol. For decades, we were warned that the cholesterol in egg yolks would clog our arteries, leading many to eat only the whites or avoid eggs altogether. This created a huge amount of tension and confusion. We were essentially told to throw away the most nutritious part of the egg. To understand this better, imagine your brain is a complex and highly active communications headquarters. For it to function properly, it needs a full-service maintenance and supply team working around the clock. The egg white provides some of the building materials, protein, but the yolk is where the specialized technicians and high-grade fuel are found. The yolk is packed with choline, lutein, and zeaxanthin, nutrients vital for memory, nerve signaling, and protecting your vision. Emerging science has shown that for most people, dietary cholesterol has very little impact on blood cholesterol. In fact, your brain needs cholesterol to function properly. Very low levels are linked to an increased risk of cognitive decline. Therefore, eating the whole pastured egg is one of the best things you can do for your brain health. Pastured eggs from hens that live on pasture are nutritional powerhouses, containing significantly more omega-3s, vitamin D, and vitamin A than their conventional counterparts. They provide the golden fuel your brain needs to stay sharp and clear. Secret number 2, the ultimate mind and artery protector. We are getting close to our final reveal, and this next one is absolutely critical for long-term health. I'm talking about fatty fish, specifically salmon and sardines. The problem is straightforward. Most people simply do not eat enough of it. We might have it occasionally, but we don't treat it with the urgency it deserves. The tension here is profound, because the deficiency is so widespread and the consequences so severe. Your brain is nearly 60% fat, and a huge portion of that is an omega-3 fatty acid called DHA. Think of DHA as the essential high-quality bricks and mortar used to build the very structure of your brain. As you age, your brain naturally shrinks, but studies have shown a direct link between DHA levels and the rate of that shrinkage. Higher DHA levels mean less brain shrinkage, better memory, and a lower risk of neurological decline. If you don't provide your brain with a constant supply of these building materials, it's like asking a mason to maintain a wall without giving them any new bricks. The structure will inevitably weaken and crumble over time. Therefore, consuming fatty fish like salmon or sardines 2 to 3 times a week is non-negotiable for protecting your brain. These omega-3s, including EPA and DHA, are also incredibly powerful anti-inflammatories, supporting the health of your arteries and reducing the chronic inflammation that underlies so many age-related diseases. If you don't eat fish, a high-quality fish oil supplement is truly an essential investment in your future health. Secret number 1, the ultimate secret to lasting energy. And now we've arrived at our final and perhaps most surprising recommendation. It's a food that our grandparents' generation understood instinctively, but that has fallen out of favor in modern times. I'm talking about grass-fed liver. The immediate conflict for many is the taste, the texture, or simply the idea of it. It feels old-fashioned. We've been conditioned to seek out muscle meats like steak and chicken breast, and we've forgotten about the incredible nutritional density of organ meats. The tension lies in this disconnect. We are overlooking what is arguably the most powerful superfood on the planet because it isn't trendy. Let's put this in perspective. Imagine searching for a treasure chest filled with the most valuable and hard-to-find jewels. You could spend a lifetime gathering them one by one, or you could find the one chest where they're all stored together. That is what liver is. It is nature's most potent multivitamin. It is packed with highly bioavailable forms of iron, vitamin B12, folate, and vitamin A, four of the most common nutrient deficiencies in people over 50. These nutrients are absolutely critical for processes that decline with age. They support the production of red blood cells for oxygen transport. They fuel your mitochondria for energy production, and they are essential for your body's detoxification pathways. But the key here is bioavailability. The nutrients in liver are in a form your body can absorb and use with incredible efficiency. Therefore, incorporating even a small amount of grass-fed liver into your diet can have a massive impact on your energy levels and overall vitality. If you can't stand the taste, desiccated liver capsules are a fantastic alternative. This isn't just a food, it's a powerful resource for rebuilding your body from the cellular level up. It's the ultimate secret to lasting energy. And there you have it. 10 powerful resources you can use to build a healthier, more vibrant life. We've journeyed from the foundational fruit secret of berries through the joint-soothing elixir of bone broth, all the way to our ultimate secret to lasting energy, grass-fed liver. Each one is a piece of the puzzle, a tool for your personal health reclamation project. Which of these insights resonated with you the most? Was it the surprising truth about Brazil nuts or the brain-building power of pastured eggs? I would genuinely love to hear your thoughts. Please share which one you might try first in the comments below. If you found this journey valuable, please give this video a thumbs up. It truly helps other people find our community. And if you haven't already, please subscribe and hit that notification bell for more powerful health strategies designed for us in our prime. Until next time, stay healthy, stay curious, and keep thriving.